Okay, so the other day on Twitter, I asked you guys to ask me random questions, and here we go. These are all Madden related. Now, I did answer a lot of these questions on Twitter, but I want to elaborate on a bunch of them here as well. And the very first one from my good guy Chuck, he asks, what do you think the coverage meta will be in 41 days? Basically referring to the launch of Madden 23. I think this coverage meta in Madden 23, very early on, is going to be cover 2. And the reason for that is a lot of slot corner blitzes seem very, very good. Think about like Dollar, where you have 2 slot corners. It seems like these blitzes are extremely high level, and if you're blitzing a slot corner, typically that means you're going to be in a cover 2 shell, just because if you have that safety above in a flat, then that seems super susceptible. Usually, slot corner blitzes result in a cover 2 shell. I think that's going to be dominant really early on in this game. Best non-shotgun formation. In Madden 22, probably I formed close slot flex or something like that. Really, a lot of these under center formations are really good to abuse skate bars. Usually year to year though, things like single back wing flex close is really good. Deuce close is always really good. Then you'll have things that are sometimes okay, like single back ace. I really think that shotgun gives you the best, the best chance to succeed. A formation like pistol trips is pretty good as well. Spruce Goose runs that a lot. Someone right underneath, Johnny Appleseed asks, is the movement in Madden 23 good? It's smoother than Madden 22, which is a step in the right direction. More annoying, halfback wheel or delay fade? I think the delay fade was more annoying, but I think the halfback wheel was better, I think. I don't know, dude. They're both terrible. You think they'll ever add create a play back into the game? No, I don't. I don't imagine that being back. I mean, it could be. I could easily be wrong. It just seems like a weird thing for them to randomly throw back into the game, I'd assume. But hey, maybe. What do you think the Madden 23 meta will be? Bunch tight end, trips tight end. The reason I say this is pretty much the meta, even though the game is played differently every year, the formation meta is almost always similar, right? Defensively, Dollar's always pretty good. 3-5 wide's always pretty good. 2-4-5 odds always pretty good. On offense, bunch tight end, trips tight end are always usually pretty good. U-trips is always a decent one. A lot of times the formation metas, like these are the best formations in the game for a reason. And they'll typically, and the pros are comfortable in them too. That's the other thing. Pros don't like to find new formations to really use, which also increases the likelihood of these formations being popular, because even if bunch isn't the best, a lot of pro players only run bunch and will continue to do so. So they'll make it the best it possibly could be, basically. And I would expect those things to be the same. Right underneath, we have our big dog Ark asks, name some things that would carry over into Madden 23 and how we can apply them to this game right now. This is just going to turn into a huge Civil GG plug, but because it's all things I cover in Civil GG constantly. Pocket presence. That's really just making sure you're not dropping back too far in the pocket, stepping up in the pocket, and being able to avoid blitzers. That also entails taking good sacks, throwing the ball away. There's a bunch of things that goes into pocket presence, and I actually just released something on Civil GG regarding that. Horizontal route concepts. That means not having a crosser and a crosser going into each other, as the main flaw of that is that it takes so long. Rather being able to learning how to utilize hitches and flats and drags and wheels. No, although everyone figured that out already. Curls, throwing seam streaks, really being able to spread the field horizontally and not having to wait for a route to cross the field and get to a sideline like a crosser does. I think that helps a lot year to year. The next thing is knowing your user responsibility. This is a pretty big deal just due to the fact that you can have the perfect defense on the field, but if your user's not usering anything, typically there's always one route you need to user. A lot of times that's a deep crosser or a deep corner route, which I always stress to please user the deep crosser, user the deep corner. I'm so big on that. If you just do that, you will immediately start winning more games. Okay, if you're mad about somebody in pistol or in gun bunch running a bunch of deep corners, right? Just use the corner route. Make them throw something else, right? I mean, help yourself, right? Best strat items. This changes, like, they always change, like, what strat items, like, the term behind them. But basically, whenever they have these special item shit, just get as fast of DBs and wide receivers as possible, okay? Don't worry about strength. Don't worry about anything else. Get your DBs faster. Get your wide receivers faster. This late into the year, it's July, so it's not as important because 99 speed's a thing. But yeah, just always looking for speed, especially on your DBs and wide receivers. What's the number one thing that anyone can do but most people don't, and it costs them wins? My biggest thing I would say is when nothing is open or you're just panicking, say you're getting heavy blitz, just throw the ball away instead of hitting a random button or taking a bad sack. Throw the ball away. I see so many people get scared and just panic hit a button, and that will result in more picks than not, okay? Throw the ball away. Click the right stick in. Throw the ball away. Be comfortable doing that. What Madden did you feel like you were the best at? I really don't know. Clubs of Madden 21, Clubs LCQ of Madden 20, and then honestly most of this year I'd say I felt the best at the game compared to my peers. I felt like pretty much every single game I went into, I felt like I should win, which I'm very big on being a realist, and I recognize that I'm not in the top 15 Madden players in the world. I'm closer to the 15 to 45 range. I'm in there somewhere. So there are times when I'll go into a game and I'm like, oh, this guy's actually just is the best player in the world. I should lose this game. Now, I'm going to give it everything I have. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to fight tooth and nail to win, but I'm a big realist, right? It's like high school football. If you don't have a great team, you're playing the defending state champs, you're going in like, yeah, we might fucking lose this game. Gonna give it everything, but we might fucking lose. All right, I'm very big on being a realist. Some people hate that. I'm very big on it. I think it's helped me throughout a lot of things. How do you prevent zones like 30-yard flat zones from being thrown over by crossers? Literally, you like user them. You're gonna always be frustrated by this. User them. What does baseline do? Baseline just keeps your defense always in the same alignment. So if you baseline nickel normal, it'll always look the same regardless of what offensive set you're playing against, okay? It'll always keep your players in the same spot. I want to double back too, by the way. That's about what I said up here. That's not like not having confidence in yourself, but it's like it's recognizing that losing is a possibility, and then recognizing your own strengths and how good you are, and recognizing your opponent and be able to admit when someone is better than you. I think that will help you win more games that you shouldn't, because when you have it the other way around, you end up losing a lot of games that you technically feel like you shouldn't, especially against people who are actually worse than you just by having an inflated ego. I think not going into games being overly confident is a big deal, and just being real with yourself. I think that goes for a lot of things. What is the best way to improve at Madden in general? Watching YouTubers who are really good, mimicking them. Throne, K-Mac, Chaos, myself. A lot of streamers like that too. Playing weekly, just playing games and just learning how to beat players is good. Learning from ebooks. A lot of times this gets hate, and I of course run an ebook site, but this is, at least I can speak on myself, this is where I disclose everything I do. So, and a lot of the game is knowledge gap. That really is what a lot of Madden comes down to, which is unfortunate, but it's just a fact of the matter. And there's skill gap in learning that knowledge gap too, and creating that knowledge gap. I'm lucky to have that skill set, and so that's like where that's the best place to learn more, and to learn like really like in-depth things. Someone asked, I've seen with my own eyes that you can stream and make content playing daily and still do good in the MCS. Why do you think more people don't stream? Why do you think more pro players don't stream? There's a couple of things. One, streaming does put you at a disadvantage in Madden. It does. This like real sports. If you get film on your opponent, you are much more prepared than if you don't have film on your opponent. So streaming, making YouTube videos puts me at a huge disadvantage competitively, and I know that affected me this year because I know those people who I played in tournaments who watched my streams, who were in my streams, who watched my videos, who were part of my ebooks, because it just is what it is. So it does put you at a disadvantage. So that is a fair reason not to stream. I think the bigger thing though is that it's hard. Now streaming in and of itself sounds easy, you just boot up a stream, but streaming every day, there's a certain level of accountability that goes with that, and a certain level of, you're in the public eye, so if you do bad, everybody sees you do bad. It's a lot harder to stream every single day for 3 hours than it is to lab every day for 3 hours. Labbing every day for 3 hours is really easy. You just get to play a game, it's all fun, whatever. Streaming is, at times, it can be kind of like work. It's not always fun, it's not always pretty, you have to go through it sometime. Who's 2 of your favorite people to play and why? Geez, 2 of my favorite Madden players to play and why? I like playing J-Wall a lot. J-Wall's fun to play, just because I enjoy seeing what he's doing with the game. I think he looks at the game in a really unique way, and I respect that a lot. I have a ton of respect for how Jake looks at the game, reads the game, and tries to abuse the game, for lack of a better word, but that's not the right word. So I would say J-Wall's definitely a favorite, at least to see him play. And then another guy who I think is one of my favorite people to play, Fitzmagic comes to my mind just because he's fun. It just depends. It depends what we're doing too. Like, favorite in terms of like, I enjoy being able to play games and just have fun games with people. Chaos is another one who I actually, whenever I feel like we play, it's really fun. I have a lot of fun playing those games. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question. How are bombs in Madden 23? They're worse. They're definitely worse. How do you make your initial impact on the community? What separated you from others, both Madden and Twitch? I joined some very small tournaments and was doing okay, and just got connected through those with some people who were small in the community, but kind of created like a friend group. And then from there, I ended up just keep on playing, trying to get better. Super condensed story here. I ended up winning the Buccaneers Club in Madden 20. And when you win a club, you get to be on stream, on an EA stream. So you get a bunch of clout from that, basically. Like, there's your opportunity. It's not like you get like thousands of followers or anything, but you're in people's minds. You're in people's heads, right? And so as soon as I did that, I made sure while I was on stream to optimize it too. On EA stream, I was very vocal. Like, I was very hard to forget. I purposely tried to do that. And as soon as I got back from that, I started streaming, basically, to try to take advantage of that. And basically how I think of my Twitch is I try to be like an entertaining guy, but also I stream very high level, which is something that I'm one of the better players in the world who actually streams. And there's a lot of it's consistency, a lot of it's grinding, a lot of it's just working hard. I think everybody gets like their break at certain points. It's about capitalizing on that and then making it through. It's easy to work on it when things are going well, but then you have to kind of push through when things are going bad. I've definitely had many months-long periods where things are going pretty bad. I'm like, oh my gosh. But if you make it through those, it's for the better. That's a super short story on that. There's so much more, I feel like. That's a good question though from Jay Waters. Yeah. If you never played Madden, what would you be doing? Before I was doing this, so basically, again, super short story. I was full-time school, full-time in college, full-time working at a place called FedEx Freight, and full-time, not really full-time, but I was streaming and playing Madden a lot. It was probably about 40 hours a week, but and then I said, wow, I can't do all three of these things full-time anymore. I just don't. There's not enough time. Not enough time in the day for me to do everything and do it to the best of my ability. I'm going to sacrifice places. I said, well, the least financially smart thing I'm doing right now is college. It just costs me a lot of money. This is not knocking college. I'm just not good at college. And not only that, the thing I'm worse at, the worst at here is college, and the thing I have the least amount of fun at here is college. So college doesn't make sense for me. Again, I think college is awesome for a lot of people. For me, I'm not very smart like that. I'm just not. So I dropped college. And then I was doing the FedEx and Madden thing, both of them doing full-time. And it just got to a point where I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can do this Madden thing full-time. So if I never went Madden, I'd probably be a manager at FedEx right now. As that was the path I was heading on before this. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that job. Is it even worth competing for a belt when streamers making more money at the moment? When streamers are making more money at the moment? Depends what your goals are. If you're only financially motivated for the time, like, I'm literally just gonna read what I said. Actually, I think I said it pretty well here. If you, geez, it depends what your goals are. But I think you can compete and stream at the same time. But if you're purely financially motivated in the present, then emphasis on streaming low-skilled CFMs and money games would be my focus. So if you're trying to make money directly right now, I would be trying to stream, and I'd also be trying to play in as many money CFMs with low-level opponents and money games as possible. If you're looking for the big picture, I would super grind streaming, and I would super grind YouTube, and I'd also compete. If you're just trying to compete for fun, doing something on the side, just compete. Yeah. But depends what some of your goals are. I definitely think streaming is a big deal just in general. This is a good question. Do you think there will be more skill gap in Madden 23? I don't know, obviously. But I think it's important to say that I think each game has a lot of skill gap. The fact of the matter is that we see the same players at the very top every single year, and then we see the same-ish players in the top 50 or so every single year. And there's a reason for that. There's skill gap, you know. Multiple years. I mean, Madden 22, we just saw Henry was almost unbeatable. He won 2 different belts. You don't win 2 separate belts in pretty good dominant fashion throughout most of it, like Henry did, if you're not obviously much better than most people. Madden 20 with J-Wall. J-Wall had a 2-month span where he won 3 different tournaments, 3 different major tournaments. Madden 20 with Joke, he was, that might be the best year ever still. He was undoubtedly the best player in that. And it's like, there is skill gap, okay? Now, is it frustrating a lot? Yes. Is there much skill gap? Maybe not. But there is skill gap, but you can improve to the point where you can win a lot of the games you're supposed to win. Favorite part about the game, I love running my own stuff, or at least my own variations and seeing it work against meta. I think creating my own things are very fun. I like to try to be... there's a fine line between trying to go against the grain too much, and I like trying to ride that line. When you try to do too many things like against... When you try to do too much stuff that's against the meta, just trying to be different, you can definitely backfire. But I like finding my own things and be able to beat the meta using my own stuff. Here's a good question right above it from Cool Beans. What's up, Beans? What's the wildest thing that happened to you as a consequence of being a Madden content creator or competitive player? There's a lot of different things I could go here, but I think one of the coolest things is that we have a lot of proximity to a lot of professional athletes. I've gotten to meet and talk to a lot of professional athletes and even help them with Madden. Dudes who really have no reason to ever speak to me, reaching out to me asking for help or just to talk about Madden. Even celebrities who I haven't really had many experiences with, like actual celebs, but I know a lot of friends who have, which is really, really cool. If you could pick any game to be competitive or make content that wasn't Madden, what would you pick? I think I'd pick Minecraft. Minecraft's really fun. I think it has very high replayability. I enjoy that you can play it with friends. Minecraft's fun. Minecraft's really cool. I think it's cool. It's cool. I don't know if that'd be my final answer if I thought more about it, but yeah, I don't know. What made you want to help Civil GG with your platform, or what made you want to help others with your Civil GG platform? So those of you who don't know, civil.gg is my website. We have a good community there, and I sell ebooks and stuff like that there. And I broke it down to a couple of reasons. One, it helps provide a living for me, which is important. I have to live, I have to eat, I have to provide for myself and my loved ones. So that's a big one. 2, fulfills a life goal of mine to be able to actually help impact a part of people's lives. The amount of messages I've gotten from people due to success of Civil GG is actually amazing, and this is true. Video games are a big part of people's lives. It's a hobby. It's like people who are... You might have someone who's obsessed with golfing. They love golfing. So people are like that with Madden, and if you're watching this, you probably are too. And seeing some of the messages I've gotten from what me and my team have been able to do, helping people in Madden, seeing them like that light up their days and winning more games, stuff like that. I've gotten some awesome messages of people winning Super Bowls in their CFM. It's just sick. It's super cool. It's super cool. Reason number 3, I was really gifted this game. I don't know why, but for some reason I am. It's like some people are really good at math. I wish I was good at math. I'm not. I'm good at Madden for some reason. I think if you have a natural skill, I think it's dumb to not capitalize on it to some extent, or to find a way to weave it into your daily life. Even if it's something you don't really like, I think it's dumb to not find some way to capitalize on some part of it. And then number 4, I love Madden football. When I went to college, I was supposed to work with my college's football team. I couldn't because it was an unpaid position. I needed to get a real job. But yeah, I love football. I love Madden.